Right, so hello and welcome back to another 90 Day The Single Life video on Arthur TV. Today we're looking at part 9 of Big Ed's journey on season 2 of the series. So last time out we looked at Big Ed and Kaory's trip to Manzanillo. After Big Ed told Kaory that he sees her as more than just a friend, she told him that she likes him too. However, she also went on to say that he talks too much about where things stand in terms of the relationship, and that she wishes he would just let things progress naturally. The day after, he took her and her son Carlo on a trip to Manzanillo, but their first dinner together went terribly. After spending the majority of the evening talking about himself, Big Ed brought up his desire to get married. Having told him several times that he was too insistent on progressing the relationship, Kaory made it clear that she felt that Ed still wasn't listening to her, and left the restaurant without so much as a hug goodbye. It's now the morning after their dinner date, and since Kaory left the restaurant, Big Ed hasn't heard from her. He's been bombarding her inbox with desperate cries for attention, but it appears Kaory has completely ghosted him. So, in a last-ditch attempt to rescue the relationship, Big Ed has gone all out and booked a private sunset cruise.
Even though last night was a disaster, today I still invited Kaory to a nighttime cruise on this yacht to see the sunset. I want to talk about what had happened, and I want to hear what she's feeling, and hopefully get things back on track. But I haven't heard from Kaory all day.
The fact that he's paid for an expensive cruise to win Kaory back just shows how little he's been listening to her for the entire time. She doesn't want to be impressed or for him to put in more effort. She just wants him to respect the fact that she wants to figure things out at her own pace. He seems to have acknowledged in the past that she's not someone who's impressed by money, so he's just missing the point entirely by trying to make it up to her with something materialistic. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a private sunset cruise isn't romantic too, but there is not a doubt in my mind that he's kind of focused on the fact that it's an expensive date, rather than offering it as an opportunity for him to apologise and actually show her that he's changed.
I came to Mexico looking for love. And I do think we can work this out. I don't want to give up because I'm getting older. I'm afraid I'm not going to meet the one. And if I can't get an honest commitment from Kaory, then this will be it for me. So I hope she comes.
It is mad how he's already moved on from talking about how Kaory feels to getting a commitment out of her. It's like he's completely forgotten that trying to do that is exactly why she left in the first place. If she does show up and he somehow manages to apologise and convince her that he's going to change, I genuinely think he's going to try and get that commitment out of her straight afterwards. It's funny because in the last episode we speculated that he feels like he needs to leave Mexico with her as his girlfriend, and he's literally just confirmed that by saying that if he doesn't get the commitment he wants, then that's it for him. He's actually so needy that it's stressful watching him.
That sucks. Kaory, she didn't respond to my text messages. She ghosted me, and so I decided to take my mom on this sunset cruise.
You know, I am so glad she didn't show up. I've got a lot of respect for the way Kaory's dealt with Big Ed over the season. Like, she really didn't allow him to bulldoze the relationship or manipulate her into getting what he wants. And she always stood up for herself whenever she felt like he was pressuring her. I feel like by the time that she left that final dinner, she knew Ed well enough to realise the person he is deep down. And given she's already given him way more chances than he deserves, I'm glad that she knows her self-worth enough to not give him any more now that she's figured that out.
So funny. Can you tell me how you're feeling right now? You want to just pour your heart out to your mom?
I'm sad. I'm not saying that I'm not sad.
You look sad.
I was just so confused. Like, it just sucks.
He really has no idea what he did wrong, does he? How he's still confused after everything Kaory said is actually astonishing. This guy needs to give up on trying to find love and just spend the rest of his time with his mum. She's the only woman on the planet that doesn't seem to find him insufferable after a short period of time. I really don't know if he's ever going to find anyone else that actually enjoys his company like she does.
It is disappointing, but I'm glad you learned from these experiences.
Yeah, me too.
I think Ed has learned a lot from past relationships. I think he handled this relationship so much better. He's been hurt so much, and now he's learned to handle the situation much better.
Sorry, but what exactly has he learnt from all of this? The only thing he's learnt to handle better is rejection, and that's because it keeps happening to him. Other than that, how is he any different from the little divvy we met when he first started dating Rose? Even when he says out loud from what he's learnt from past relationships, he still seems to forget it. When he was in the botanical gardens, he said that he knows in hindsight that he rushed Liz, and so he wanted to take things slow this time. But he went on to make the exact same mistake just several days later by talking to Kaory about love and marriage, when she had made it clear several times that it was just way too soon. And Norma really isn't helping Big Ed by making him think that this isn't his fault when it so clearly is. If he's ever gonna actually change, she needs to stop allowing him to avoid taking responsibility for his consistent relationship failures.
I don't have time. Like, I want love now. I want a partner that will enjoy this.
Enjoys the things that you would like.
I'm ready to meet the right person to share this with, like to come down to Mexico and go on a sunset cruise and have them enjoy this.
He always talks like this, but it's not as if the people he's been dating don't enjoy nice dates. It wasn't the dinner or the botanical gardens that Kaory didn't like, it was Big Ed's intolerable personality. I'd love to go on a sunset cruise, but if you told me that I'd have to be sat next to a big steaming bucket of manure that was also somehow trying to get into my pants, then I wouldn't want to go either. Also, the way he talks about wanting love now, it's like he doesn't understand that it's something that comes with time. He's not going to find someone who's going to want to spend every second with him and want to marry him from day one unless they're in it for completely the wrong reasons. Wanting love itself right away rather than wanting to fall in love with the right person is at the core of pretty much every relationship downfall we've witnessed with him.
I might have failed with Kaory, but I'm not going to give up. Once you give up the fact that there's somebody else out there that is your love, then life is over. So I never want to feel that way. I never want to be that way. That wasn't the kiss I was looking for, but oh well, at least I got a kiss.
I can literally smell this man's desperation from across the Atlantic. It truly is a wonder how he hasn't found the one yet. Well, with the relationship now over, Big Ed spent his final night in Mexico alone, both physically and once again romantically. He woke up on his last day and messaged Kaory one last time, saying that he didn't want to leave on bad terms and that he wanted to say a proper goodbye. Although she somewhat surprisingly granted him this final request, she did have one condition. She didn't want it to be on camera.
She agreed to see me in private. But when I saw her this morning, I began to see that I most likely misread the signs. She said, "We were just going to be friends." I feel rejected. So, might as well cut my losses and leave.
I hate to say it, but I think he's misunderstood her once again here. I don't think she did always want to be just friends with him, and I don't think he misread the signs that there was potential for something more. I think he just misread her as a person. If he hadn't been so full on and wasn't constantly seeking to establish the next stage of the relationship, despite all her signs that she didn't like it, I genuinely think there was a possibility that it could have developed into something romantic. He's just the absolute king of fumbling the bag.
My mom is someone that always makes good decisions, and my mom really liked Kaory from the beginning. So I really felt kind of emboldened that this would really work, that I finally found someone that I could begin a relationship with and forget about Liz.
What? You should have forgotten about Liz before you started dating someone else. Using Kaory to get over her isn't fair on Kaory, but it's also such a terrible way to start off a relationship. Because he doesn't get over women before he moves on to the next one, He also brings a lot of the relationship's baggage with him too. When Ed and Liz broke up at the end of season 1, they were at the point where they were discussing moving in together and getting engaged. And I feel like he wants to dump all of that on a new girl and almost pick up with them where he left off with Liz. It's so strange, and it makes all of his problems being way too intense just a million times worse.
I struck out with Rose, I struck out with Liz, I struck out with Kaory. You know, I'm beginning to question whether I'll ever find love again. I'm 56 years old. I always want to have hope, but I don't have a lot of time. I'm traveling all around the world looking for love, and it's not finding me.
He says this every single time one of his relationships ends. He's not too old to find love, he's too much of a dick. You could be 100 years old and still find love. Unless he's got some terminal illness he's not told us about. What clock does he think is ticking? He also talks like he wants to find someone who's already in love with him, and that's just never gonna happen. He should consider himself very fortunate that for some ridiculous reason, opportunities for women to fall in love with him keep presenting themselves. He just consistently manages to tank them at record speeds. This time, he didn't even manage to make the relationship last until the end of the season. You know, I don't normally show the what happens next clip because it's usually either too boring or gives too much away. But just to show you how little this man learns or cares and how utterly insane he is, look at this.
Next time on 90 Days, The Single Life.
I didn't find love with Kaory, but the woman that I'm meeting, she wants to make me happy and I want to make her happy. I am sort of moving fast, but I really think she's the one.
This little divvy is actually a full-on one-man circus. Is he back with Liz? Is this a new girl? Is this someone he's had on the sidelines the entire time? I literally have no idea what the hell is going on. All I know is the series isn't finished yet. So if you want to find out who that mystery girl is, make sure you're subscribed down below so you can catch the next video as soon as I upload it. As always, the links to my Instagram and Twitter will be down below so you can come say hi in between uploads. And I would just like to say a very quick thank you to my Patreons and channel members. I truly appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.